Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Video Games, back with one of the coolest toys of all time. Another arcade game video, and this is one of the sweetest arcade games ever released, in my humble opinion. This is the original Atari 1982 pole position Cockpit. And this sucker works. That's the hard part. This thing looks so cool, nobody threw these away, so there's still a bunch of them around, but a lot of them's broke. We were able to find a gentleman. If you saw our video on pole position 2, we did a video of the upright pole position 2. We were able to find a gentleman who can repair these boards, and we had plenty of boards that were broke, so we sent them off to him. He got them all working for us again, and now we're getting our games up and running. If you listen closely, you can hear that one of the ways we're keeping this thing running is we added a fan like we did on the other one. Whenever they first released this, it did not come with a fan, but there's now a fan right here on the back, and it's blowing out warm air actually from the inside of the cabinet. It feels warm coming out of the cabinet because it's an exhaust fan. But so basically, if you didn't see the other video, if you get a pole position and you get that sucker up and running again, please put a fan in the cabinet, because this thing will overheat. The chips get really hot on the game board, and that's one of the reasons that they stop working. We've touched this up a little bit. Of course, it's not in perfect shape or anything. We rarely get games that are in perfect shape. And to be honest, we're not that interested in perfect shape games. As long as they look pretty good, we're happy with it, and this one looks pretty good. You can see the corner's been repaired down there a little bit. You know, you can point out the flaws, and you can see right here, I don't know who did that, but come on, man, come on. Should have never happened. But anyway, this is the cool Cockpit cabinet. These are on wheels, so they roll really well. It's just a really well thought out design. They did a good job of it. And so the way it works is on the back door you've got the game board, and then you've got the monitor on this one is a Electro-Home G07, which is a very popular monitor. I think they've swapped it out of another game though, because some of the burn-in's kind of suspicious. If you don't know about burn-in, basically whenever a game has the same image on the screen forever, it eventually gets burned into the phosphor on the tube. If you look, see how it says game over in the blue there? That's because it says game over on all the other screens the whole time that the thing's up and running. So while it's sitting there in a track mode, it says that, and it's so bright that eventually it burns it into the tube. So most pole positions have that, and it doesn't really bother me. Some people can't stand that, but I think it looks pretty cool. So on the Cockpit, you had two pedals. You had a gas pedal and a brake pedal. But on pole position, basically you never hit the brakes. I'm not an expert player, but I've heard expert players say never hit the brakes. So we don't. And then the other very simple controls, you've got a steering wheel, and you've got a low and high shifter with a cool Atari logo on the front of it. Gotta love that. It's a very simple game. Everybody's played it. There's not even any buttons. If you look, there isn't even a start button. You just get in and go. And if you're in the cockpit, you're riding in style. The Cockpit also has 4 speakers. There's a speaker under here, a speaker under that side, and then behind where you sit, you might not be able to see that because of the contrast, but on each side there's a speaker that I'm pointing at, and then there's a speaker over here. So you sit, and there's 4 volume knobs in the coin door, so you can adjust each speaker to your preference. So you can turn up the speakers behind you if you like that better or whatever. But if you get in there and you crank all those things up, man, I mean, you feel like you're in the action. In the action. It's how it ought to be. So as you can tell, we're very excited to get this sucker working, because it's just a cool game, and we were able to save it. If you saw that video of the 50 games that we bought off of the nice lady that we filmed a video of everything out behind the store, this was one of the games that came out of that lot. So a couple things we did: we rebuilt the monitor, of course. You can't, if you're not familiar with how the CRTs work, you can't fix that burn-in. Once it's like that, it's done. I mean, it's going to stay like that. So we weren't able to repair that, of course, but we were able to get the monitor looking good, and we had to rejuvenate the tube. It was a little dim, and rebuilt the monitor board with a new flyback, and the power supplies, we rebuilt both of those. This has two Atari AR2 power supplies. Some people take those out and put a switching power supply in it, but we really like the original Atari power supplies. A lot of people are afraid of them, but I think after you rebuild them, the things are pretty solid. And then on pole position, they run a lot of amps through the wiring, so on the edge of the game board, it'll burn up the connectors on the edge of the game board. So you really need to repair that and then kind of beef it up. So one of the things we did was we're running the 5 volts. It's all 5 volts and ground. There's no 12 volt running to the boards. At least I don't think there is. It's all 5 volt and ground, and we fixed all the connectors and the edge connectors and everything. Rebuilt the power supplies, got it adjusted right, and we also put extra wiring going to the. There's some test points on the board that you can hook up extra wiring to, just to make it where the wiring has more of a path for the voltage to get through, so that the amperage doesn't keep burning up your edge connector, and it makes the game a lot more reliable. And then we put the fan in, which really helps keep it cool so that you don't have to worry about the game burning up. On one of the power supply boards, the audio amps wasn't working, so both left speakers wasn't working right, so we were able to repair that and get it sounding good, and doing the speech and all that. And, so we put T-molding on it. We put a new piece on the back here, the plexi, which was a really cool idea. Just think about how creative they were back then. They made the cockpit, which originally would have had some kind of wood or something, I'm sure there, but then they replaced it with a piece of plexiglass, and that's factory. It's just the way it was designed. But I put a piece of plexiglass in it so you could stand around and watch your friends play. That's awesome. Very cool. So there you go. Pole position. Cool cockpit cabinet. You'll see the little crack there in the middle of it. It does not come apart. I don't know why they made it like that. I guess just so that they could make it out of 2 pieces of wood for the side, but unless you've got a saw, this thing ain't coming apart. But it's on wheels. It rolls pretty good, and it's only about, I don't know, 24 inches wide, maybe 25 inches wide. So it'll roll through most doors, even into a house or something. Let me show you the bezel a little bit. We'll sit down in it so that you guys feel like you're part of the experience. So you walk up and you go, oh, cool, they got the new pole position game in. Walk up, sit down. The bezel above it says pole position. You get the Atari logo over there. Down here at the bottom it says engineered and designed by Namco, engineered and designed by Namco Limited, manufactured under license by Atari Inc. And of course, this is obviously the original control panel overlay. Instructions: insert coins to start. Qualifying run. 73-second lap time or better qualifies the player to Grand Prix race. An extended play. Finishing the lap with given lap time earns more time for extra laps. Checkered flag finishes the race and all extended laps. Bonus points. Each car passed in the race is worth 50 extra points at the completion of the game. After the checkered flag is reached, each unused second is worth 200 extra points. Nobody plays for points anymore, in any of the games. I can't even remember the last game where points were important, but at this time, in 1982, they really were. To enter initials, only the first 100 places qualify to enter initials. You see the initials? Look at that. We cheated. I'll admit we cheated. Okay. Spin the steering wheel to select letters, then step on the pedal to enter each initial. And then down here you got another copyright. Graphics, computer program, and audio-visual work are copyright 1982, Atari Inc. Alright, and it's telling you about the pole position. So, Grand Prix race. Starting position and bonus points are decided by the qualifying lap time. So basically how well you do on the qualifying, the prepare to qualify. However well you do on that determines where you are, what pole position you are. And then over here, just got low and high, Atari racing. So there you go. I will film a little video so you guys can relive the glory days. All right, folks, got the camera set up. It's a little awkward because I'm sitting here and there's not much room, but we're going to play through it a little bit. Usual disclaimer, I am not the world's greatest pole position player, but we'll see how far I can get. Maybe I'll make it through the qualifying stage. If you don't remember, the first stage you qualify for a position in the race, and then the second stage is the race, and then you race over and over again, or so I've heard, because I never make it past the first race, but we'll see. So I'm gonna coin it up here.
Prepare to qualify.
Yes, let's put it in low. The steering's real touchy, like you can just barely move it and be off the course, which is good because that means you can make the turns really good. But sometimes you can oversteer. Sometimes you can oversteer, which puts you into the sign on the edge of the road. Good driving. So that's my position. Oop, oop, nope, that didn't work. I'll downshift just so I don't run into them going around the corner. And hopefully I can pass them. Hopefully I can pass them in a straightaway, because I'm behind the pack. You can also pass them in the grass, but that's pretty, you know, you might hit the sign. Extended play. Whoa. Oh. Oh no. Oh, I thought that was it. That was it. I'm second place. It's not bad. Oh, I accidentally put in initial already. So there you go, the original pole position. Hopefully that brought back some memories. Cool cockpit cabinet. You can see all the games we have for sale. By the time you see this video, it might be years from now. So we may not have this for sale anymore. Had to pause for greatness there. You know what I was doing. So we might not have this pole position cockpit for sale anymore, but maybe we'll have something else you're interested in, or maybe we'll have another pole position by then. Who knows? Or maybe this one will still be here. You never know. The way you can find out, though, is you can go to our website. If you go to lionsarcade.com, we've got pictures, prices, descriptions of all of the games we have available right now for sale on our website. So you can see what our current inventory is, no matter when you catch this video. But if you're not interested in buying a game, just subscribe to us here on YouTube. We get these in all the time, all kinds of different stuff, and whenever we get them, we will film a little video for you, because we never forget about our YouTube friends. We will see you next video.